drug testing refusal from James. Driver gave one sample and the administrator told him that he needed more, but he couldn't go again. He walked out of the room to check on his truck and was fired for refusal.
He's screwed. Based on the limited information I have.
The car was being towed.
The requirement to give a certain number, certain level, and I can't remember exactly. You got to pee in a cup, and it's got to reach a certain level. And if you don't reach that certain level on the beaker, they dump it out. Okay? And you have to. The company, the test collection site has to give you, I believe, up to 40 ounces of clear liquid over a 2-hour period, and you need to stay until you can pee. So if you just say, I didn't give enough, now I can't pee, and you leave, and you haven't stayed, you haven't not followed the DOT's drug and alcohol testing regs. But the collection site also has to tell you, hey, you need to stay here, we're going to give you 40 ounces of clear liquid. There is an exception to that being categorized as a refusal, and that would be if you have what's known as a shy bladder. So when you have a refusal for being unable to pee, it has to go, the test collection site has to notify the company's what's called a DER, Designated Employer Representative, who has to notify the MRO, the so-called Independent Medical Review Officer, who has to confirm the refusal. The medical review officer does not confirm the refusal, they cannot stand the driver down. But by just simply not being able to pee enough and I can't pee anymore, I'm leaving, that's considered a test refusal.
I just love the phrase shy bladder.
You know, I actually had this happen recently. I've never seen the lid on a commode that was round. So when I got done, I set the sample on the top of the commode, and it slid off. 4 hours later, they finally get the sample. Great people, had fun with the nurses and everything. Great time. But I've never seen it happen. And I saw a slide, yeah, too late.
I think you get called for a test.
Yeah, that could have been a refusal. I could not leave, or it would have been a refusal.
I've had people call me and I think I'm getting called for a test or whatever. I don't know how they know. But I usually tell people to, if you get called, I mean, first of all, go immediately. That doesn't mean wait for traffic to die down. Or it's snowing out, I'll go later. Or the company told me I could go later. No. You get a CDL. It says when you're called on a random, you go immediately. I mean, even if you're fishing, you're on home time, you have to go for the random drug test. When you're on your home time, I wouldn't answer the phone from the company, frankly. That resolves that issue. But when you get called, I'd go get a bottle of water and start cussing.
I just want to make one comment here. In terms of the courts, and to the question, these drug tests are done for public safety reasons, right? They don't want people who are dangerous on the road, and many other. But whenever courts hear that there's a public safety concern, they are very deferential to companies imposing rules. And so a failure to comply with a company regulation that is designed to serve and enhance public safety is going to be held against the employee.
And these were all litigated years ago. In the late 80s, this came out. I remember I was a member of the Transportation Lawyers Association back then, which was a group of lawyers who represented trucking companies, mostly, and railroads. And I was a young lawyer then. I spoke up at a conference in San Diego that I was attending, and I was the only one to speak up against the drug and alcohol. One of two lawyers to speak up about the drug and alcohol testing regulations, and I was against it because I thought it would be, I considered it an invasion of privacy, and I thought that it would, it wasn't enough safeguards to protect the drivers, and I still feel that way. And these the DOT's regs, which provide orders the employers to have these processes. Mr. Hanson's right. I mean, they were held up by the Supreme Court in a 7-2 decision, and Justices Marshall and Brennan dissented, and they said, just because it's a safety issue, we should not be, taking away Fourth Amendment rights. This is intrusive. How could you get any more intrusive in violation of the Fourth Amendment than, taking blood or urine tests? And, the majority of the court didn't agree, but these things are settled, and there is almost no due process for you when you fail. The MRO is the judge, jury, and executioner. That medical review officer who might be the golfing buddy of the doctor who's the golfing buddy of the trucking company owner, he's the judge, jury, and executioner. And those same cases that upheld the intrusiveness of mandatory random, and I'm not talking reasonable cause testing, mandatory, upheld the constitutionality of reasonable, of mandatory random drug testing were all the same cases that were used to uphold the ELD mandate. So the drug testing was the government's nose in the door for allowing the government to be intrusive into truck drivers' lives, and it's continued over 30 years.
I have a question. On that last question about the driver that was told he refused, didn't he say he went to check his truck and thought something was wrong? Does that relieve you from being, walking out and not wanting to do the drug refusing?
You can't leave the site. Cannot leave.
There's no reason to leave the site, even if your vehicle's being towed, it has to be towed, that's your fault, not theirs.
You
Okay.
cannot leave the site.
Okay, so that's not.
You're
Yeah.
essentially locked up until you leave.
Paul, on the due process thing, I'm with you there. I'm out here 50, I'm third generation. I can remember an old truck stop right out here, right off of 30. You couldn't walk through that parking lot or many, many others without people coming up with a handful of drugs. Hey man, you want something? You'd see teenagers coming in at night because they knew the truck stops is where they had to go. I knew companies where dispatchers were putting out pills to drivers to stay away from this. So it was pervasive and it was annoying too. And they'd knock on your doors, hey man, you want any drugs? And this and other prostitution stuff too. It was a nightmare, truck stops. It was all around us. I was surprised, even friends of mine, who I thought were pretty clean on occasions. Because I just don't believe in drugs, basically. But it sure is nice not to have it all around the way it was at one time.
Because of the drug
And
testing.
the due process confuses me too. I wish we didn't have to give up the due process rights. But somehow or other, maybe it was worth it to not see and experience what was all around us. It's one of those outcome things, but I remember how bad it really